Happy Veterans Day and welcome to this week's Leading with Purpose Friday Digest. My name is Ted Wheeler and I recently joined the DAME leadership team. I'm honored to speak to you today as a soldier and a veteran. Veterans Day is observed annually on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month to honor military veterans. That is, persons who have served in the United States Armed Forces. No matter which branch of service, your job path, or how many years you served, raising your hand and committing yourself to service in the military was a brave and selfless act. One that resulted in few guarantees of where you would be assigned, whether you might be deployed, and in some cases, if you would return home in one piece or at all. My military service story can be traced back to the War of Independence to two fifth-grade grandfathers and one fourth-grade grandfather, all Army privates in local York County infantry regiments. My dad was an Air Force veteran and modeled service to others and duty to a greater cause than yourself. My Army story is not mine alone, but also of my twin brother Todd. For us, Scouting provided testing grounds for us to learn service and leadership, and whom better to teach us than our dad as our Cub Master and our uncle as our Scoutmaster. From Bobcat to Eagle Scout, we learned civics, honed our survival and camping skills, learned to be prepared, and learned to live by the Boy Scout slogan, do a good turn daily. We learned to lead and follow our peers, which is very hard to do in middle school and high school. But that skill would pay us dividends when it came time to lead soldiers in the Army. Army leadership is influencing people by providing purpose, direction, and motivation while operating to accomplish the mission and improving the organization. Todd and I learned the Army leadership model of be, know, do in Army ROTC and tested our skills in college at Army Basic Training and Airborne School. Leadership is about taking action, but there's more to being a leader than just what you do. Character and competence, the be and the know, underlie everything that a leader does. Todd and I served together on active duty for over 20 years and would deploy to combat operations in Somalia, Africa as captains and Iraq as lieutenant colonels. While I am proud of my Army service, my Army story doesn't end with me. I was honored to enlist our oldest daughter, Lauren, into the Army as a public affairs specialist, where she served in the 3rd Infantry Regiment, the Old Guard, and met her future husband, Selden, an Army paratrooper. I also commissioned our youngest daughter, Hannah, into the Medical Service Corps in the Army Reserves. They each will have their own military story to tell to future generations. My challenge to fellow veterans is to look for ways to share your military service story with your local community. Your voice matters, and your story might be the spark that helps a young person consider military service. Fewer than 10% of Americans can claim the title veteran. Veterans have given us freedom, security, and the greatest nation on earth. It is impossible to put a price on that. We must remember to appreciate them. You can support these great men and women by hiring a veteran in your workplace, visiting a VA hospital, or donating to a veteran service program. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my military service story today.